Hello, everybody. This is Matt Campbell, and you're tuned in to another StoryTime Spotlight. For this week's guest, we have Spacewalk. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. I am super excited to get this interview going on. I came across Spacewalk's music on SoundCloud, and I had to reach out to him because I was telling about this before, and I loved his track that he put out a while ago called Fury. So I reached out to him, and he sent over some new music, which is featured in the chapter 3 of the book club. So I'm super excited for everyone to hear that as well. Now, let's get right into the interview. Where did the name Spacewalk come from?
Alrighty. Well, when I was younger, before I started making music, I was really into like sci-fi movies and like retro sci-fi kind of stuff. I really love like the like art of the 70s that are like retro sci-fi paintings, things like that. And I just always felt like when I started producing that my sound kind of like fit into this like science fiction theme. And I remember I was at my homie's house. We were producing music, and at the time I was gonna change aliases to, or I was thinking about changing my name. And my homie Dylan, shout out Dylan, he said, "Why don't you change your name to Spacewalk?" And I don't know, just something about that stuck with me, and here we are today.
And here we are today using it. Yeah, it's super catchy. I definitely like the ring that it brings to it. So, what do you produce on? What is your DAW of choice?
So right now I'm using Ableton. I've only been using it for like 4 months, and before that I was using Logic for 4 years.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I'm
that's exactly how I started out. I started out on Logic because on Mac they offer, I think it's like $199 or something like that, and so I was like, oh, okay, because Ableton's like a plethora amount more, and
oh
so
yeah.
I started off with Logic, same thing, and then made the switch over to Ableton. So I'm right there with you on that. So when you're starting off on a blank page, what is the first thing that you're starting off with when you're going into your DAW creating a new tune?
Okay, well, I mean, I have like a whole template that I have set up for me on Ableton. Normally it's just like, I've got like my synth template, like the sidechain triggering, all this stuff. I have it kind of all set up so I can really just like get to the ideas as quickly as possible. But when I start on something, almost like 95% of the time I'm on the drums. Because for me, the drums have to smack, and then like everything else kind of just like comes to me after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the backbeat is the key to every great song that's out there. If you can mute the mids and you can just have the drums going and it be moving, you're off to a solid start on that track. So I'm right there with you. Same thing, starting off with the drums. That's a solid way to go about starting a new project. So, what's some advice you could give to somebody who's starting out in production, who's new to the game? What would be some words of wisdom that you could give to them?
Man, I would say like, you know, um, there's a lot of information out on the internet now, so you have everything you need to start. But I would say that one of the toughest things for me when I was producing is that, your beats are not going to be very good for like a year. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, like, man, I was making beats for like a year, and like I still go back and listen to that stuff, and it's just not, it's not good. Like none of it's good, but if you kind of develop this, like, you develop yourself more and you get used to like, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this every day, and eventually like things get better. So the advice I would give is ultimately like, don't get discouraged because your music doesn't sound good yet. Like just keep pushing it, and eventually like you'll get to things that you're proud of.
There you go. Yeah, that's some solid advice right there. Some solid advice. What would you say are some do's and don'ts when it comes into the industry or producing?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I haven't experienced that many don'ts yet in the industry because I feel like I'm still kind of just finding my toes in the industry right now, or finding my
Right.
feet. But I mean, when producing, I would say like some do's would be, I get stuck in creative blocks a lot, and the thing that really gets me out of that is by playing around with synths or other things, like even field recordings, things like that. Just start from there, and usually like that will snap you out of the block like right away. Just don't be afraid to mess with things that you're not really like messing with most of the time in your DAW, because a lot of the time like the most things you would never think of would come out of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. What would you say a don't is, though? If you could say one don't, whether it be in production or even reaching out to people to submit music, or uh, what would you say is a don't in the industry that you're in with production?
Okay. I would say a don't would be when you're reaching out to people, whether it's like to collab with them or even just to like send out demos. Don't just send a link with like a sentence attached to it. I've learned now that it's like you want to introduce yourself to people and tell them about who you are. Just make it short and concise, but like, make yourself feel human to people when you're trying to get them
Yeah.
to work on you or work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of makes it more like getting to know the person more just without hearing the music, to have even a little short summary about who they are and like where they come from, a little bit of their background. That's a very solid key point. Sometimes we get submissions and it's just a link, and it's like
Yeah.
you could have put just a little bit minimum of effort into this, and you would stand out from all the other people who are submitting music as well. So yeah, that's for people watching. That's definitely, if you're new into the game, that is a big solid point that he's bringing up. So, what are you doing when you're not producing?
Alrighty. Well, when I'm not producing, I like to be active as much as I can. I live by the beach here. I live in
Oh,
Los Angeles. So I've been surfing all my life. So try to get out in the water as much as I can. And it's pretty much sunny and nice here every day. So I'm trying to be outside as much as I can when I'm not, locked in the studio.
yeah, absolutely. And it also recharges you. The sun recharges your soul, and it's such
Oh,
a great thing.
definitely.
And no, that staying active is just kind of like, it helps sometimes with creative blocks. Like I noticed that like I've been doing more fitness, going outside, doing more stuff, like taking the dogs more on walks, doing park things. And I like find myself kind of like it's like a release for your mind. You're not so like as uptight rather than just sitting at home and just sitting on the couch watching TV. So
Of
get
course.
outside, get some active, get active and move and groove along with your day. That's a good source of energy to get your releases out on. Now, random questions. What are three things you can't go without in your day?
Man, all right. Well, I would say that I drink coffee every day, so that's one of them.
Okay,
I need some
absolutely.
kind of like stimulant or like in the morning because
Right.
not that much of a morning person. I definitely need to do some kind of exercise, otherwise, like I cannot like write music or do anything. It always has to come before that.
Hmm.
And let me think of one more. Hmm. I don't know, man. Literally, like, my life's pretty simple. It's just like wake up, go outside, do some stuff, come back and hit the studio. Oh, I try to listen to some music every day, like not my own music. It's got to be people that like that really inspire me,
Oh
or
yeah.
music that other people send me.
Hmm.
Always stoked to hear it.
New music, coffee, and exercise. All right, those are three solid things. Which part of the body do you wish that we could detach, and why?
This is a deep question. um, I don't know, man. Like I was thinking about that. I mean, everything's pretty useful. There's, I would say like there's parts of my like psyche that I'd like to get rid of sometimes.
Ooh,
Sometimes I think I overthink things or get anxious about stuff. I'd love to just be able to turn that off, but
there you go. Yeah, psyche. Okay, getting rid of that brain for a little bit and just putting it on the side.
of course.
That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, usually people are like, "Yeah, we'll think about the head or like my arm." I'm over here like my lower back because that bitch be hurting, and I'm like, I could just
There you
detach that
go.
and get it out the way. So, what are some of your favorite to go to snacks?
I'm basic as shit, man. I'm a weirdo. I kind of like goldfish. Like every time I'm food shopping, I always grab like 3 or 4 bags of those. I get
Okay.
shit about it from my friends all the time, but like whatever.
Is this
And
original or are you getting like flavored?
dude, I like it plain. I just like
Just
the
plain.
baked like normal ones.
Okay.
And I also like beef jerky a lot.
Ooh.
But I'll eat the whole bag like when I get it, and then it's like shit, I gotta go get more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's crazy because I feel like lately, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but the price of beef jerky I feel like has gone a little bit down because usually it's super expensive, and now it's like
Oh yeah.
it seems a little bit more affordable because sometimes you look at it and you're like, I don't think I'm spending $13 on beef jerky. Hard
And
pass.
there's tons of options too. I never even realized it. There's like all kinds of like flavoring and stuff. Try to grab like new ones all the time.
Yeah. Would you say you're more of a sweet or salty person?
Oh, definitely salty.
Salty all the way.
Yeah.
Same, same. We are in the same boat, my friend. So, if you could sit down and have a coffee with any artist, which artist would that be?
Hmm. Um, I would have to say it is this artist from Australia named Herzalid. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's very underrated, but he's been like on the platform since like the SoundCloud days of SoundCloud being like booming.
Okay.
I just find his music incredibly inspiring, like definitely the biggest inspiration on my sound. And also, you know, I've read a lot of interviews with him, like back when Nest headquarters was around, he had an interview on there, and I just really like the way he lives his life and his mindset about life and approaching music. It's inspiring to me. So
Yeah. Mindset holds a very valuable key to just your everyday life, not even going into production, but your mindset into everything. I'm a firm believer if like you're being negative, negative things happen, or if you think positive, positive things come, something along those lines. So mindset is very key in every situation. But speaking of which, what's something that people do that gets on your nerves?
hmm. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely this is a hard question because I feel like I don't know. Okay, I've got one. I would say like sometimes I'm not very good at remembering people's name like a lot, and I
Okay.
get mad. Sometimes it bothers me if I'll go to a party or something like that, and somebody will be like, I'll like introduce myself or something, and they'll be like, oh no, dude, I met you like a year ago or like something like that. Like I met you before. I don't know why. Like it's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I've had like some experiences where people like get pissed at me for not remembering, and I don't blame them. But
They just didn't make a memorable experience to you. That's the only reason. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's partly my fault too. I should, I don't know. Just
It's
I've
partially
had a
my
few
fault.
experiences where I don't know. Sometimes it bothers me, but it's chill.
Right. It's chill. It's chill. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
um. Hmm. I think I'm definitely like I don't know. I'm definitely an extrovert. I value like really being with my friends or going out. I love going to shows, things like that, and like really like being around people and feeling the energy. Um, but I also really value my time alone to like kind of do this. And clearly, like producing is definitely a very introverted thing. I feel like sometimes, but I don't know. I think I'm definitely an extrovert, but
An
maybe somewhere in
extrovert.
the middle.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm right there with you. It's hard to be 100% one and not a little bit of the other. It's something that a happy medium is always found with, for sure, for sure. So even though you're not staying inside that often, but what was the last thing you watched on television?
Hmm. Okay. The last thing I watched on television, I've been really into this show called Mr. In Between on Hulu. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
30-minute episodes. It's about a hitman, and it's an Australian show, and it's really good. It's like the best thing I've watched in a while on TV.
And
So
it's called,
I
and
recommend
what is it called again? Mr.
Mr.
Middleman?
In Between.
Mr. In Between. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to write that down. Mr. In Between. I'll write down my notes. Mr. In Between on
It's
Hulu.
really good. I recommend everybody check it out.
Yeah, I find myself more on Hulu than I do on Netflix, which is crazy. But like my favorite show is Letterkenny and Seinfeld. Those are like my two favorite shows, and those are all on Hulu. But when I find some good stuff, I'm like, all right, good, good, good. But this is something I have to definitely check out. Sounds like something I'd be very interested in. So thank you for the recommendation. Now, getting towards the end of this interview, is there anything that you would like to promote or anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah. Okay. So I'd love to promote my new EP, Shimmer. Just came out 2 weeks ago. It's a little bit different from my normal sound, but been working on it for like half a year, and I'm super proud of it. And I'd love to give a shout out to everybody who listens to my music or who's found my music and reached out to me. Like, your support means the world. And yeah.
There you go. There you go. And not only are you coming out with heat on that EP, which I just came across that the other day too. I was just jamming out to it. But for those who are watching, Spacewalk has his track Sense on the chapter 3 of the book club. So super excited for everyone to listen to that. And if you're listening to this track, you might as well go check out all of his other stuff. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. It's heat after heat after heat. But I like what you took with the new direction with this EP, because when I was listening to it, it wasn't like pure madness, like bass heavy crazy. It was kind of like it was like good vibes. I don't know. That's like the best way to kind of explain. It's like good vibes and a little bit of mixture of like the bass in between. So that's why I was like, I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Thank
So
you for listening
yes,
to it.
make sure you check out his stuff. If you're looking at it, we'll have all of his links for his socials down below in the description. Once again, my name is Matt Campbell, and you are tuned in with Spacewalk. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.
All right.